we are live once again, and welcome back, folks, to this title decider here in Abu Dhabi once again. And we must apologise for the issues that we are having with the lobby. Nothing we are able to do. It's just the game letting us down. Initially, of course, for anyone wondering, we had Tyrrell Martin disconnecting in qualifying, and then after that, continuously disconnecting when he tried to join back again. Not only that, we also had Danny M7 encountering a few issues as well off the line on the first lobby, and then on the second lobby the same thing happened again. So myself and James will have a little chit chat, I suppose, over the next, well, however long it takes until we get back underway once again. But yeah, we're trying to get everyone back in the lobby to get the stream back up and running and underway. We've got no viewers at the moment, James, so I'm going to do what I can to try and get the viewers back.
Yeah, let's try and hype them up. Yeah, when we get people in the chat, I think it'd be a good idea to get what their predictions are and give them a couple of shout-outs. We are live. Sorry, people have just joined us.
Yep. We are still waiting on people joining us, but right now I'm going to try and get the stream back up and for everyone to be able to see it. Yeah, that's a shame what's happened. Hopefully we can get back up and running as soon as possible. We're going to get 13 in the lobby, which is one short. We're still hoping to get Mr. Martin in here, I believe, and as soon as we do that, we can get back up and running once again. So when that happens, we will have it all for you guys.
With any luck, if people are indeed watching right now, then I can give you some news, and we've got a few plugs that we need to do. I'll probably do it at the end as well. But tomorrow, ILR will be at Buckmore Park for the WTF1 car event, of which you'll be able to catch all of us live on social media across the platforms, and we'll be giving you some brilliant behind-the-scenes content of what is going on down there. Be sure to follow at ILR Karting Team for information on that as well. What exactly is going to happen on the day? Hopefully we'll get a couple of big names to give us all a shout out. It's going to be a really good day though. Hopefully it all goes to plan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, hearing all about that, James. So we'll get the ILR Karting Team tomorrow at Buckmore Park, of course, for the WTF1 event. And James, what are you doing? I hear you're getting involved with some the media side of things. Could you just elaborate on what's happening there?
We've got a few things going on. A long story short, I've got employment with a motorsport live streaming service who are, if you're interested, live streaming the event tomorrow for WTF1. No cheeky plugs in there. Other things are going on, such as commentating for football clubs this season in the National League. So if you're National League followers, I'll be at a few games this year. Commentating for none other than Maidenhead United. So yeah, all my news is out the window, and I've got more to come, but yeah, a lot to come in the near future.
Yep, well, it appears we've got Martin back in here, which is good to see, so I'm sure we'll not be far away from getting underway. And I'm actually hearing now from Ghosh that every tier is having this sort of issue at the moment, every single one. So
oh really?
Yeah, so
okay.
I don't know what's going on, but every tier apparently is having issues. So it could be the Xbox. Well, I suppose we can give it one more go, couldn't we? But if we have another issue, I think it might be best to postpone this to next Friday night, the way this is going. This is a real shame, the way this is going, but hopefully we don't have to do that and we can get ourselves back underway in the action. So yeah, very disappointing that this has happened, but everyone has now reset the game and we can get back underway. Someone's asked me what is my favourite kind of cake in the stream. Okay, I suppose we can answer that one. I don't know about you, James, but I'm a chocolate cake fan. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same here. Actually, if you watched my commentary on Saturday, I've got a YouTube video on it, but this is a similar conversation I had before a big moment happened. Basically, my co-commentator was speaking about how we'd been brought strawberry cakes that were called the Hulk on drugs, and then a cart flipped over in dramatic fashion. So, with any luck, we'll get some drama now because we started speaking about cakes. I know it's a really random thing to come out with, but that genuinely happened. Honestly, I'll put it on Twitter afterwards and you can watch it again because the karting crash itself was mental. Let's go ahead to focus though, because this is ILR and this should be the final race of the season.
Yeah, I did actually see that crash, James. That was a big one. But yet, as you say, ILR, final race of the season, third attempt to get this underway. And again, we fully, wholeheartedly apologise for the issues that we're having. Again, it's out with our control. There's nothing we can do about it. And hopefully, we can have a third time lucky for our 3 title protagonists. And if you're just joining us for the first time, I'll run it by you once again. It is TOR Leopard, on top with 127 points. It's Danny M7 with 122 points, and third, TRL Martin with 120 points. There is 7 points separating them in the championship. Whoever wins this race of the 3 of them wins the title. That is the easiest and clearest permutation I can give you. Those 3, the winner between them is the champion, and that would be it. They wouldn't need to rely on anything else. Martin in third place, 7 points off Leopard. If he wins and Leopard second, and they finish level on points, he's still the champion because he's won more races than TOR Leopard, and he would win it on countback. Now that would be some scenario, James, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't it, Joss? You don't ever see that in Formula 1, let me tell you.
Yeah, you very rarely do, but here we go. The countdown is beginning. We've got 10 seconds to go for the start of this race. Can Martin charge through from the back? Will Leopard hold firm from the front? We will find out in a few moments as the 5 red lights go on in Abu Dhabi for the final race of the season. Fingers crossed they all get away this time, and it looks like they do as they run down towards turn 1. Leopard against Danny. Leopard defends hard, opens the door up, and Danny sweeps through the gap. Leopard off the road he goes. That was controversial. Rejoins the circuit in second place. Danny is up into the lead. Leopard second, Langman third, and Mike Marshmallow fourth. An aggressive lunge from Danny at the start, but he's made it work and he's through on TOR Leopard. James, did that look questionable to you?
Don't think it looked questionable at all, if we're going to be completely honest, and that's not being anywhere near what I've seen. It's just a pure regression. They had to go for it into the first corner, and to be honest, Leopard was coming across him. Where did he have to go? He wasn't going to back out into turn 1. It's the first lap. They've got every right to go for position there. But he did have to force himself off the road. Here goes Langman though. Here goes Leopard down the inside in towards the chicane. We go again. He's got the move done, has he? Not quite, because he's being held off again. Langman following through. On the inside, he's got to round the outside for the next turn corner, which will become the triple chicane.
Wow, incredible stuff. Leopard really going for it. We know he always loves to go for it. And now look at Langman going at Danny M7. When does Langman ever fight at the front? You never see it, but he's deciding today's the day.
Oh,
and it's that contact. Leopard off the road. He's on a wild course at the start of this Grand Prix. He's going all over the circuit. Erratic driving from Leopard. Predictable though. He really does love to get his elbows out. He's all over the back of Langman. He has a look up the inside as they reach the hotel section of the circuit. But Danny M7 has the upper hand. He has the lead, and crucially, James, at the moment, the title lead. It's Danny leading from Langman in second, who's quickly becoming a cork in the champagne bottle as Danny sprints away 1.4 up the road already, and Leopard really needs to get a move on. He needs to get past Langman as quickly as possible if he wants to win this race, and crucially, this championship. For all you TRL Martin fans out there, he's up 4 places from the start. He's moved from P12 up into P8. Good stuff from him.
Let's tell you what, there's one thing I did not see coming this race. It was Langman second. I really didn't, because his pace on this game hasn't been amazing, but I mean, when he wanted to pull it out the stops, he definitely did, didn't he? P2, and what a brilliant bit of driving just to get, he was so aggressive with Leopard. They were giving it no calls given. I was speaking with these two before the race and I said, look, if one of you is aggressive, you should have a right to be aggressive. You know, it's just cat and mouse really. You're going to be aggressive with one another if you're doing so. That's just the way it is. That's just racing. You just give it back to each other if you're almost. I can't word it particularly well, I'll be honest, but it's just finding the limits of each other. But at the moment, he's doing a stellar job of being almost that man to just hold up the rest of the field. Langman in P2 from Leopard P3.
Surprising to see Langman up there. He may even have a nosebleed. He's that high up the order. Goodness me. TRL Martin, meanwhile, has gone past Joe Alex into second place, and Joe up into 5th place past Morso. And as usual in ILR, there's action everywhere you look as Joe moves up into 5th ahead of Morso, the man from Northern Ireland, the man, of course, who did qualify for the Pro Draft. Unfortunately, he did not manage to make it into any team. but currently running in 6th place, and he's all over the road there. Is he letting Martin go? He is letting Martin go. That looked like a planned move there from Murso. So Martin moves up into 6th place, and are we seeing some friendly alliances being formed in this field, James? It looks like it, as Leopard gets very close to the back of Langman into turn 1.
Absolutely, DRS enabled this lap as well, as there won't be any screen freezes. Oh, screen freezes, I do hope there won't be any screen freezes. I've now got a touch whip because of that, but DRS has enabled this lap. Hopefully there's no slipstream glitch, is the one I was looking for. But let's see what TOR Leopard can do. Also, we'll just gloss over that because Langman has just got it all kinds of problem wrong there. Down the inside goes Leopard again, but he's not close enough to get the move done on Langman through that. That's going to compromise his run as he comes onto this long back straight. Yep.
Leopard stalking him for quite some time as Danny takes full advantage of it. He's now 2.2 seconds up the road. There's a familiar sight. Cyril Hamilton with a 3-second time penalty and now retires from this race. So Hamilton's wretched season here in ILR has ended in disaster. I believe he'll be in the wall somewhere as we now watch TOR Leopard get right up behind Langman as they open up the DRS and go sweeping down this second long back straight. He goes to the outside. Langman defends the inside. Can he go right round the outside of that Williams? Langman breaks late, squeezes him out, and that's a great defensive piece of driving from Langman. He's a little bit wide now though, and Leopard up the inside, touching wheels through there, and is he finally through side by side for this long sweeping left-hand corner, and it looks like Langman, sorry, right-hand corner, is through, and who was that?
Mike!
Diving up the inside of Leopard, and you can see why he did that, because of course his teammate is the man in the lead at the moment, Danny M7. Mike doing everything he can to help his teammate, James.
Look who's right on the back of this train now as well, though. Man who's started at the back of the field. Tyrrell Martin is right on the tail of OMGS Joe as well. What a bit of defensive driving, though, from Langman there into the chicanes. It's quite brilliant. It's vintage Langman, I'm going to call it, because I've seen him for so long, since he started his league racing career. And he's just gone from strength to strength, and that is just proven of why he can do what he can do. And here goes Martin.
Yep, down the outside he goes on, Joe. He can't quite do it. He got such a fantastic drive off turn 3, just about unable to do it. Now he's looking up the inside into the hairpin, squeezed onto the curve as Martin, but Joe holds firm. But I have to totally agree with you there, James. There's such good defending from Langman. He looks so unfazed and kept Leopard at bay, kept him at arm's length, and holds on to that second place. And Danny now stretching his lead to 3.6 seconds. And is that now a championship looking pretty likely for him, isn't it? He's doing brilliantly as Martin now moves on to the back of Joe and he opens up the DRS. Brilliant action in the opening 4 laps out of 28. We've had to wait a while, but in this third attempt of getting the action, it has been brilliant so far as Joe breaks late and holds up Martin. And Martin is not getting the VIP treatment he did get from Murso a lap or 2 ago, and he's going to have to work for it the same way Leopard's going to have to work and work and work to try and find a way past Langman. And all this is helping Danny M7 out front. And as you mentioned earlier on in the previous stream that we had, James, Danny M7 hasn't led the championship at any point this season. The last man to do that, Sebastian Vettel. And what happened at the final race? He went on to win the championship.
Martin's on the inside of Joe. Sorry.
Yep, has a look up the inside. Is he now through and Joe into the final corner? Side by side they go, touching wheels across the line. Martin looks to get himself a nose ahead as he runs down towards turn 1. Can Joe do anything about it? He's going to break late. Have a look. Martin leaves the door open. He can't afford an incident, but he's done it. Martin up into P5. Next up on his radar is Mike Marshmallow, and that was a crucial move. Well completed, James, wasn't it?
I tell you what, Joe done a really good job of defending again then as well. We had no answer to Martin there. That is absolutely world class. Just simply held him right around the outside. Through, well, gives the inside corner as they enter the penultimate corner, but it just wasn't enough for him. Here goes Leopard as well, all over the back of Langman as they head down towards the chicane again. Can he get him around the outside? He's going to give it a go. He's got deeper on the brakes, which could better his run as he comes back towards this back straight again, this slight kink where we saw Fernando Alonso and Mark Webber go at it not too long ago, a few years ago now though. Leopard is on the outside of Langman. Can he get it done on the braking this time? Langman's going to go on the defensive. He's got no answer to him this time, but he's gone deep, Leopard. Has that compromised his run? No, it hasn't. He's into P2, and that is honestly not what I was expecting to see there from Langman. Just could not hold up that Renault.
Yep, absolutely brilliant then. Great job there from Leopard to finally get that move done on Langman. Has the damage already been done? A 4.7 second advantage Danny opened out in just 5 laps, and this is a real challenge for Leopard. He had it in his hands at the first race, at the first start of this race. He then had it in his hands at the second start of this race, but in the third attempt to get this race underway, in the interest of fairness, it's not worked his way. Is his luck against him this afternoon? A few people in the chat are expressing that they believe, that they feel bad for TOR Leopard, that this has worked out this way. You've got to feel bad for him. You've got to feel bad for Martin as well. He's been forced to start at the back of the field due to connection issues. It's not been ideal, but over the course of the season, everyone has had their fair share of good luck and their fair share of bad luck. And if I'm honest, Martin slightly more than others, James. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you're right. Every one of these guys have had bad luck. There's no saying in the chat that someone's had more bad luck than someone else. If I'm honest, I think that's absolute trash. Every one of them have had bad luck this season, and it's only right that we recognise that. But yeah, I mean, this is a big moment actually in the race, because the pit stop window will be coming up in the next few laps or so. But if I were Mike or if I were Langman, would you think to stop now? Because maybe not now, but I mean, there goes Mike actually. Yeah. Down the inside he goes into the chicane again. Can he hold him? Yes, he can. Langman not giving him an answer, and that's looked pretty straightforward for Mike Marshall to get through there into P3.
Yep, crucial for Mike as well, crucial for Danny that Mike's keeping himself further away from Martin. He'll want to keep himself in front. Langman, as you would expect, slowly starting to drop down through the field. He's not been a feature at the front of this field much this season, and Mike Marshmallow going past him kind of confirms that, because Mike himself has not been at the sharp end, but he has helped out Danny. Of course, the two of them working together to win that Constructors' Championship. We will speak to those guys at the end of the race about the Constructors' Championship. Could we be speaking to Danny about a double though, a Constructors and a Drivers' Championship? At the moment, it looks likely. 4 seconds is the gap between Danny M7 and TOR Leopard now. I think we've seen similar scenarios like this before, where the man out front in the lead has got it all to lose. As Martin now moves into position on Langman. Langman was out of shape coming down the hill there, and Martin is right up behind him. Is he going to make that move? He tries to sweep round the outside into the hairpin. Langman holds his ground, and that allows Joe to move into position as they go down one of the longest straights in Formula 1. Can Martin make his move? He opens up the DRS. Langman, is he going to defend this? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be a drag race down the straight, and Langman backs out of it, I think. And Martin is through, now up into 4th position, and it's now 3 of the 4 championship contenders, sorry, 3 of the contenders in the top 4 places. So what will happen from here on in as we now watch Langman go defensive from the charging Joe as Leopard continues to slice the gap down to 3.6 seconds. He's flying out there, James, isn't he?
Yeah, it's frightening pace from him at the moment, and honestly, it's a big moment in the race. Like I say, the pit stop window's coming up. They really cannot afford to lose any more time now, can force India in the terms of Danny and Mike. They really need to get on it. But just take a look at this little squabble for P5 at the moment between Langman and Joe. And as I've said, I love seeing these two fight, because it just always ends in some sort of disaster. So with any luck, we may see it once again. Martin, though, gets himself into P4, and if I'm going to be brutally honest, in terms of race pace at the moment, looks absolutely phenomenal. So you could see a battle between Martin, Leopard and Danny come the end of this race, and my God, would that be amazing.
Yeah, that's what everyone was hoping for at the start of the weekend. Everyone was speaking in the paddock. We were discussing it, James, weren't we, when we walked in on Thursday, how we would absolutely love to see those 3 drivers fighting lap after lap for the championship. The way things have worked out, the scenario has us waiting and waiting all the way to the end, perhaps, before we see that, as Langman gets way out of shape there. He's an X above his name. Has he lagging a little bit? Yep, it's lagging.
He's lagging badly. Yep.
Laggy Langman. So he continues in 5th position as Joe, who continues to catch him in P6. But TOR Leopard, look at that, under 3 seconds now.
2.9.
He's going rapidly onto the tail of Danny M7, and we've still got 20 laps to go. The race only 8 laps old, but suddenly Leopard's odds are shortening a bit, like that gap out front. Danny M7 continues to lead from TOR Leopard 2nd. Mike Marshmallow, Danny's rear gunner, is 3rd, and he's holding back TRL Martin at the moment. Let's have a look at that little squabble. Mike 3rd, Martin 4th. Can Martin find a way through? And with a bit of luck, luck that he's been lacking all season, get himself back into that championship hunt. Just a little bit of background on TRL Martin's season. Back in Bahrain, he was looking good to wrap up a race victory on his debut in the second race of the season. He missed that first race of the season, and what happened? Last lap, puncture, finished P8 at full 21 points loss.
Leopard in. Leopard's coming to the
as
pits.
Leopard comes in, as you say, and so does Martin, James.
That's a big call from both of them. I did not expect the two Force Indies to stay out. I would have definitely thought that one of them would have come in, but a few coming in as well. Joe into the pits as well. This is going to be quite crucial, actually. Any of them going to get held into the pits? I think maybe Leopard has by Tyrrell Martin, but I could be wrong there. Joe is also in the pits coming out as well. But this means then that Force India of Danny needs to get into the pits potentially this lap. He cannot afford to stretch his lead anymore because he will be prone to an undercut. Another
eye-opener here to notice on James. TOR Leopard has fitted the super soft compound. Martin has fitted the soft compound. Now, you spoke about the potential two-stop strategy. Is that what Leopard has up his sleeve here this afternoon? Or can he stroke those tyres home? He will literally have to do that to get them to the end of the Grand Prix, James. What do you think?
Well, I mean, like we've seen, his pace is absolutely phenomenal at the moment because he really is on rails in that Renault. He's flying round and he's catching Danny at such a fast rate that actually maybe fitting on those super soft tyres is a stroke of genius, really, because that means now he can push even more, but he's got to hope and pray that he can get a big enough gap out for the second pit stop to work, or else his strategy would go out the window and he could potentially lose position to Martin in that. So he really needs to get on it. Let's see what Danny decides to do. In fact, let's see what he decides to come into the pits for. What kind of tyres? That is crucial. Also, the undercut. Let's see how close Leopard gets to the undercut. It is going to be very, very tight.
Yep, absolutely. It will be tight, and Leopard really needs to get the undercut done and dusted because he wants to stretch that advantage on those super softs. Surely he's not going to take those tyres 20-odd laps. That would be an absolute mission, and Danny M7 is now heading out of the pits. Where is his championship rivals, TOR Leopard and TRL Martin? They're coming across the start-finish line now into turn one. Remember though, you do cut that first corner. Danny M7's little icon there popping on the screen. Where is Danny? Where is Leopard? Leopard kind of needs to be ahead, doesn't he? They're going to be side by side, I think, on the pit exit. Danny just in front of Leopard, but Leopard on those super soft tyres will surely be shaping for a move in a few moments' time. He almost had to back out of the throttle there going through that chicane. He was that much quicker. So Leopard tucked right up behind now onto that Force India. Here comes the Renault powering down this long back straight. The DRS is active as he moves right up behind Danny. Is he going to make a lunge at the end of the straight? Danny defends the inside. Leopard sweeping down the outside. They're very, very close, almost touching. They are touching now. Real contact. Leopard misses the chicane. Danny goes through the chicane and Leopard rejoins. Is he going to let Danny back through? There's so much at stake here and they need to be careful. The last thing they want to do is ruin both their races and allow Martin to come steaming in. And Leopard has another look up the inside, but boy oh boy, this is hectic, aggressive racing from the pair of them. I think they need to chill out just a little bit. I don't know about you.
Absolutely, it was a Donoso Lee moment, wasn't it? How similar was that? It was unbelievable. Leopard now is on the attack again. He's got to make sure he gets this right on the brake though if he's going to go for the move down in towards the hotel section. Indeed he doesn't, but all kudos to him for giving a position up again because I did not expect him to do that. Let's not forget, that's just a big moment there. Danny is really, it's everything he could have done. He's gone on the defensive, he's gone to that as he dares under braking. That's the risk you take going on the outside, I think. I'm not sure I'd call that unfair racing whatsoever, but he needs to do a big task now of holding up TOR Leopard for as long as he can, just to halt his two-stop strategy. That is all he can do now.
Yeah, this isn't only for the race victory, this is for the championship. These few laps will decide whether Danny or Leopard wins this title. It will also decide whether TRL Martin still has a sniff at this, because if these guys continue slugging it out, Martin will close. He's already only 3.2 seconds behind them as Leopard gears up for a second assault on the back of that Force India. Now, would it be advisable for Leopard to set this one up and do it down the second straight? Because on the previous occasion, you had to let him through in that second straight. You don't want to be doing that. And Leopard, his young head, is wise on this occasion. He decides to wait for his second attempt, his second bite of the cherry, his second chance with DRS, and here he goes. Danny M7 under real threat now as the charging Renault with those super soft tyres is going to try and make a move. Oh, they're both making contact, brushing the wall there. They've got to be careful. They've got to be careful. We can't have that. They need to drive carefully. And boy, oh boy, they are not doing that at the moment. The two of them are very close to ending in the wall and handing this championship to Martin, who is now only 2.3 behind them. But to me, that looked like a late defensive move from Danny, did it not?
Yeah, well, it did, to be fair, but to be fair, Danny was on the inside. There was no space for Leopard on the inside there anyway, so I don't really know where he was going with that. But Martin, you're right to say, 2.4 seconds is the gap. That gap only last lap was 6.3 seconds. It's quite incredible how much he's closed that gap up towards these two, but now we're going to have to just witness, sit back, and just enjoy this, folks, because this is going to get really tasty. The top three in the championship could be top three on the road as well. This is going to be titanic.
Yeah, the way this is going, they will be. And another thing we have to note is Hayden is in the lead of this race in the Sauber. Now, Danny and Leopard are catching them like a steam train, and you have to remember that the teammate of Hayden is TRL Martin. So that could be another thing to help Martin back into this battle. As for the third occasion, Danny and Leopard are going to go battling down this straight. Please, guys, for the love of God, don't run into each other. You've been very, very close to doing so already. As Leopard now lines up Danny. Danny with a late defensive move. Leopard steaming down the outside, and this time he's got him. Surely, Danny breaks late and chops across him and defends very, very, very hard. And boy, oh boy, this is getting close to the limit here of driving standards. As Danny now
8/10
holding on, and Martin is there, isn't he? Goodness me.
8/10 of a second, the gap between him and Tio or Leopard. My goodness me, he could win this from the jaws of despair. He's been through absolute canny rage at times this season. He's also had awful connection issues that have really set him back, as well as the punctures. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, bad luck aside, I mean, this guy's got to take the prize for that, because some of the really poor situations, even today, he couldn't qualify. He stuck from the back. He's now 6 or 7 tenths behind his main rival, TOR Leopard. This is sensational.
Well, he's got him exactly where he wants them now. TRL Martin hunting them down, closing in. He's shadowing them now. He's now sandwiching them. He's got his teammate out in front of these two. He's going to be holding them up in a few moments' time. And meanwhile, he haunts them, closes in on them slowly, playing the mind games. Well, Danny and Leopard slug it out. Martin's playing the long game. He's saving the tyres, getting himself into position for a charge. Surely Leopard on those super soft title hopes are all but gone now, because he's not been able to get ahead of Danny. Some will question Danny's driving, and Leopard is letting Martin go. Leopard clearly believes that his title hopes might be gone here, and he's decided to let Martin go. That's exactly what's happened there. He's not happy with Danny's driving. He said, well, if I'm not going to win it and I've got a two-stop, I'm going to try and let Martin win it. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know how you guys read it, but that's how I do.
I'm a bit shocked by that. I'm not sure, if I'm honest, if I'm going to be completely honest and brutal and totally honest, I don't really see why he'd do that. Why would he let Martin almost take that position away for him to potentially win the championship? It's not over for him. It's far from over. His pace on those ultra soft tyres was phenomenal. There's no reason to say he couldn't still win this championship, but throwing it to a rival at this stage, that's a bit absurd in my opinion. I would never ever let a rival through like that. It just seems too obvious.
He must be absolutely furious. I mean, he must be furious. I don't know what's going on in his young mind, but he has decided. Who's that that's joined? I can't quite see that. I can't actually see who's joined. Okay.
Apparently Ard has joined. Watch out for him.
Okay, well, TRL Martin, it would seem, is now up ahead of Leopard. But yeah, that's exactly what I think it is, James. I think he's thought, you know what? I'm not happy with this. I'm not going to make the two-stop work from here. And I know you never know what's going to happen. I know that. I get what you're saying. But I think he just thought about it and went, no, I don't think I can do it from here. I'm going to make a decision now. I don't want Danny winning the championship. I don't think he's been driving fairly. So I'm going to let Martin go and have a run at him. That's the only thing that I can think of at the moment. And that is surprising. Because if you remember, earlier on in the week there was a lot of controversy about Martin having a go at Leopard for the amount of practice that he does. That was a discussion. It was all coming to a head. And, well, I wonder.
Well, they were all going at it, weren't they? Yeah.
So, yeah, so this is crazy. I'm actually amazed at that happening. So Martin been allowed through to try and challenge Danny. Can he do it? They're both on the soft compound tyre, and there's a 1.7 second gap between them. At the moment, where is this championship going with Hayden out in front? I mean, Hayden's yet to stop, hasn't he? So that's kind of irrelevant, but Danny is closing on to Hayden, and pretty soon, Hayden will start to hold him up and try and help out his teammate, TRL Martin. So this is going to get very interesting. This is all of a sudden dropping into place for Martin, isn't it? This is just typical ILR. For one moment it looks as if he's got no chance, next minute he's got a great chance.
Absolutely. I just want to point out as well, though, the top four couldn't have been scripted any better, could it? Hayden was being blamed for the person to cause all the beef between all these guys in the first place, let's not forget. And actually, they're now in the road as Hayden, Danny and Leopard. But this is what's weird. I'm just looking at Leopard at the moment. I feel like I don't know whether I'm right, but again, he runs so wide out of turn 4 or turn 3, I believe that is. Now, I think he could have some sort of damage on that front wing. I'm not 100% certain, but he does not look as planted as what he has done. Danny, on the other hand, I should say, is going for a move on the Sauber of Hayden, and he knows he needs to get it done. I spoke to Hayden before the race, and just to confirm, he was not planning. Oh, goodness me! Down the inside he goes. He's not getting it learning his way, is he? But Danny has got the move done on Hayden to take the lead, and now the championship lead as well.
Oh my goodness, did he have that DRS open when he made that move? Oh my goodness, I'm surprised he didn't go in the wall. It was such a late manoeuvre. Anytime I've tried that, I've went spiralling up into the wall. As Hayden quite literally jumps out the way of Martin. Danny M7 with an incredible switchback, and that was exactly like Brendan Lee versus Donoso, that one. That was a carbon copy. And goodness me, Danny M7, balls of steel to duke out from behind Hayden like that. I don't know if he had the DRS open, but if he did, I'm amazed that car didn't go for an aeroplane crash. That is incredible. But Danny up into the lead, Martin second, Leopard third, and Hayden, I presume his tyres are finished. Goodness me, Martin only 8 tenths behind Danny now, James.
Oh my goodness me, this is actually the battle you need to see, because these two could still win this championship. Let's not forget, Leopard could still win the championship, that's not completely out of the question. But these two are on the exact same strategy. They will go to the end of this race. There is no quarter given now. 12 laps has Tyrrell Martin got to take the championship from Danny M7. The other news I was just about to tell you is that move was getting made. Hayden said to me before the race, I'm not going to get involved in any of the championship battles. I've got no favourite. Their race, and if I get racing against them, that's all that will do for me, basically. He doesn't bother him what happens in the championship today. But actually, going from what we've just seen there, I wouldn't say that's overly true.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that. He's definitely backing his teammate Martin. I think Sauber have had a word with him and said, what are you saying that in the press for? And he's quite clearly said, he's been told to try and help his teammate out. I mean, that was some move though from Danny. I mean, some would say overly aggressive, perhaps. I mean, he wasn't giving Hayden much space on the exit of the corner, but I mean, the stewards will certainly have a field day after this Grand Prix, because I have to say that some of the driving, not all of it, has been pretty aggressive, to say the least, and sometimes too aggressive. I mean, Danny versus Leopard, I would say, more so than anything else. What would you say, James? But I know we're not stewards, we're not going to really get involved in stewards incidents, but
yeah,
it's been a bit mad, is it not?
I mean, yeah, it's a championship decider though. I mean, if you're not aggressive, then I don't know what's wrong with you, because I know it's a league race, I know it's a game, but the adrenaline is going to be pumping out of you.
Yep, Leopard in. And is that now going to be the decision to go on to an ultra soft tyre? I mean, surely his hopes of the championship are gone from here. 11 laps to go. He's going to be more than a pit stop behind Danny, Martin. I mean, unless, of course, these guys run into puncture territories. And yes, James, you were right. He is actually changing that front wing as Leopard, so it might not have showed up on the screen, but it is now showing up as a pit stop and a front wing change, so that almost confirms that Leopard did have damage and was struggling with issues, and that will also explain why I let Martin go, doesn't it? James, are you there? Have I lost you? James, are you there? Have I lost you? I think I've lost you. Oh, I'm gone. What? What happened there, James? What happened there? Yeah?
I'm not too sure, but we'll get back on with it. Anyway, as I said...
Wait a minute, did you just invite me to the lobby there?
Yeah, I didn't know. Don't worry about it. I got the wrong button I pressed. We'll get over it. Don't worry about it. We're in the right lobby. Anyway, point stands. What I was saying about Leopard there, though, was I did say that he had wing damage. I remember stating he had bad wing damage, and that was the reason he was running very wide out of turn 3. And then coming into the pit, and then changing his front wing. That's a crucial moment. But now, I'm afraid, Leopard fans, that's cost him the championship.
Yep. Front wing damage for Leopard, and now not really with any hope of winning it from here. And it's all about Danny versus Martin, and the gap now 1.3 seconds. And we would expect, James, wouldn't we, that the pad would suffer from more tyre wear than the wheel. And Danny M7 is on the wheel, Martin is on the pad. So Martin really is going to have to put in the performance of his life here in the remaining 10 laps to snatch this championship from Danny M7. We did run a poll actually on the ILR Twitter account about to try and vote for the man you think or who you want to win the championship, however you interpret the poll. Martin got almost half of the vote. There was over about 150 votes at least there was, and Martin got almost half of the poll. Leopard was second favourite, and Danny M7, according to the public, was the least likely man to win this championship. But as it stands, he is going to win this championship, and that is a real turn up for the books. And as I was trying to mention earlier on, but there's so much happening, Danny M7 has not led this championship at any point, and if he wins this race, he will win the championship in the final round. The last man to do that, Sebastian Vettel, 2010 F1 World Championship. Whereabouts? Abu Dhabi, as James mentioned earlier, and it looks like it's all falling into place for a similar outcome, is it, James? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've just like to point out as well, Danny M7's, idol, we could say, is, of course, Sebastian Vettel. Now, the coincidences keep coming up now, don't they? Keep flying around. But the point stands. I'm looking at these top two, and we've had 9 races this year, and we're in the 10th Grand Prix that we've had, and it's been phenomenal all season long, and it's looking like it will come down to the final few laps of the season. And we said, come Australia, we were praying for that to happen, and it could duly do that as well. We did not predict that these two, though, would be leading the championship come Australia. So that's another thing that we once again failed to predict, Andy, and I just can't believe it's this close with the latter stages of the Grand Prix to go. What a season is the best way to describe it. What a season.
Yep, it has been absolutely thrilling, and could you do me a small favour as Martin gets agonisingly close to getting within DRS territory of Danny? Could you have a quick look for me, James, as I'm streaming? Could you get me the penalty count, the warnings count, see how close we are to penalties for these front two, of course?
Absolutely can.
The last thing we want is this race being decided by penalties. Of course, those two drivers, Danny and Martin, might not know about each other's penalty situation. They can ask their engineer, but as we know, Jeff is not the most reliable, is he? A lot of the time as Martin gets himself closer and closer to the back of Danny for another assault. Meanwhile, TOR Leopard down at the back of the field. It might have to be another year before he wins the title, as we now go to Langman versus Mike Marshmallow in the battle for P4 in this Abu Dhabi. Yep, on you go.
Yeah, I've got the penalty updates for you. Neither have a penalty, but Martin has 1 warning to go. If he gets another warning, he will have a penalty. Danny has got the leeway of 2 more warnings, which actually, to be fair, this is a track that predominantly does prove to have a lot of track extending. So, good to see that those two are representing the field well, and neither have a penalty yet, at least.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see how that one pans out as Martin now moves to within 8/10 of the lead as we watch Langman drop off the back of Mike Marshmallow all of a sudden, and that allows Dralex to get into position for a move. Dralex last week was a little bit disappointed that I never mentioned his strong result in Brazil, that P4. Can he try and replicate it here? The championship really did take centre stage as Leopard gets himself back into the points. He's now going to pick up one. I don't think that'll change his championship scenario. We'll go back to TRL Martin versus Danny soon. The gap now down to 6/10, but closer on the track is Dralex versus Langman, and Dralex is going to try and go down the outside of Langman. That's a horrible camera view, and they go side by side banging wheels, and is he through on Langman? He is, and Langman a little bit of contact, and yet Dralex is going to let him back through. Sportingly done there, a little bit of contact, and he lets him back through, and now we'll get right onto the tail of him and try and make another move, but he can't because Langman has got the TRS, and that closes this fight on this particular lap. Meanwhile, further down, Hayden having a look up the inside of EVR Murso, or TR Murso as it is now, and he's through, passing the Toro Rosso. Is he? Murso sticking in there, he's not getting it up, and it can't quite do it as Leopard now closes onto the tail of those guys. So a few battles developing further down the field. I think it's always important for us to keep an eye on the action elsewhere on the track, as well as this incredible championship battle, which is very difficult for us to take our eyes off, because it has been enthralling all season long. I mean, I really want to tell you about it. I mean, there was a moment where there was 5 men fighting out for this World Championship with around 3 or 4 races to go. CRL Rosberg was in it, and he decided to back out of the league where he could have been, how it might have been for him had he not backed out of the league, giving all the things that happened since then. As Martin now moves closer to Danny. Of course, we had OMG as Joe in the championship hunt until last week, where he couldn't join us in the lobby. He had to go elsewhere, so he joined me in the commentary box, believe it or not, last weekend, and watched his championship hopes disappear. That left us with 3, Danny M7, TRL Martin and TOR Leopard. And then of course, TOR Leopard, as this race has gone on, he's now faded out almost of the championship battle, and now what you're watching is the championship battle between 2. We started with 5, we're now down to realistically 2 championship contenders with 7 laps to go. It's Danny M7 in control of this race at the moment, barely though, by half a second to TRL Martin, then Joe around 8.5 seconds behind. But can Martin pull off the astonishing, the incredible? For me, I mean, I'm not biased or anything like that. I think as a headline, as a story, James, that Martin winning this championship here today would be the most craziest story of all. Starting from the back of the grid, he was a mile or 2 from victory in the championship last weekend in Brazil before he got his puncture. Surely. Oh no! Penalty! Martin, 3 seconds! And that... Oh, is that the commentator's curse striking again, James? I think it might be. But Martin has got a 3-second time penalty, and is that curtains for his title hopes, James?
That's got to be, it really has to be. 6 laps to go, and he's 6/10 behind. He'd have to make up an easy 2 seconds a lap, surely. Just to even, well, not 2 seconds a lap, seriously, that's a bit stupid of me to say that, but he needs to go at least a second a lap on Danny. But first he'd have to pass him, and I don't think Danny would know that he's got a penalty, unless anyone in the party is watching this stream, which I'm sure they are, but that is so annoying and frustrating. Tiro Martin having a penalty at this late stage. I mean, it is just falling into place for the 14-year of Danny M7 at the moment, unless push comes to shove, he will get his elbows out in this title finale, and we've seen it. So 6 laps to go, 2 seconds a lap. The second a lap we're looking at really needs to gain on Danny and pass him. So it's just going to be so much harder for that Sauber, who has had a tough whole season, but he's really proven when he is on it, he is on it. And these two just epitomise just how strong this field is. And will Martin go for the move down in towards the hotel section? He'll look to make a move, and Danny actually having to go on the defensive through there. He doesn't know about the penalty, surely, and Martin is sizing him up to make a move, and he's got so few laps to win this championship now.
Yeah, he really does. And it looks to me like Danny is not responding well to this pressure as the back end goes all over the place. And I think Martin realises if he wants to win this championship, he needs to start pressing Danny, make some mistakes, because it has to be said that it doesn't look to me as if Danny M7 is taking this pressure well. Martin is close right onto him now, and he's taking different lines, particularly in that final sector there. Danny looks all out of shape, he looks flustered. So is Martin now using his experience of titles in other leagues to try and put the pressure on Danny M7 to win this title? He needs to get a move on, he needs to try and get ahead of Danny. Make him push, make Danny push into a mistake. That's what Martin has to do. Remember, he's got a 3-second time penalty. He started this race from last. He was a mile from victory and the championship last time out. He, if anyone, some will say, deserves it more than others. Danny himself was had issues in the opening race back in Melbourne. He was winning and leading the race on the opening lap before Alonso took him out, and he ended up with very few points that afternoon. Everyone has had their fair share of bad luck, but Martin will be desperate to get this move done. Has he disconnected? He's going slowly.
No, I don't think he has disconnected, but I did check down the pit straight. He just paused. That could be what he was looking at. He was looking at whether Danny had got a penalty, and he's obviously seen that he's got one warning. He's gone, oh, okay then, well that's, you know, that's my notes over. We've got to just go for it now. And honestly, the luck for these championship protagonists, it started with Danny this weekend, and it's just growing and growing into absolute despair for its other two championship rivals, and he has lagged out of the session, which has ultimately cost him the ILR championship. Have we seen the moment where ILR champions are made, and it looks like it could be in the form of Danny M7?
Oh, I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted for the guy. I'm absolutely gutted for the league, for everything, for it to play out like this. It's a real shame. And TRL Martin disconnects from the session to rob us all of us watching, of a fantastic finale to this championship. I've got my head in my hands in the commentary box. James alongside me has got his head in his hands as well. And this is an absolute disaster. And Danny M7, he looks now to be on course to wrap up the championship to go along with his Constructors' Trophy. There's people crying for a restart once again in the chat. I tell you now, I wish we could.
Danny just pausing it. I think Danny's paused it, maybe to invite his rival back in. And it's always horrible not to see a finisher. It's like the 2014 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you remember that, Rosberg having his issues. But ultimately he just said no on T1. He's like, no, I'm not retiring from this race. I don't care where I finish, I'm finishing the race. And honestly, sometimes that's more powerful than winning the championship. Of course, on the case, this is just horrible. To see Martin falling down the field, it's absolute ecstasy for the Force India of Danny. And it's just absolute despair for TRL Martin, whose luck has run out. It's completely gone. His championship hopes have gone up in smoke. But for Danny M7, he's 3 laps away from being crowned ILR Xbox champion.
Yep, he is. And Danny M7 himself, he will not have wanted to win it this way. He's a good sport, Danny. He would not be happy to win the championship like this, but it is the way it's going to happen, it would seem. And Danny M7 just a few miles now from that championship. A little update on Leopard's progress. He's up into P5, what might have been for him as well, you could argue, as Martin now trickles down behind Mike Marshmallow into P4 and soon P5 when Leopard trundles past him. But it's looking good for Danny, isn't it, James?
Yeah, Danny's also paused again. I wonder if he's trying to get back in again. But let's not forget, and I've got to be honest, although Danny's winning and there's been a bit of luck in this race, you cannot discount what he has done this season. Absolutely. Because he's been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The others two have been phenomenal. But honestly, the pace and the aggression and the absolute grit that this man has shown at times this year, I think personally, just puts him sometimes above the rest. He's been phenomenal at times. And we have seen Martin and Leopard going for the overly aggressive. Just fall back to Spain. You weren't there, I don't believe, but
yeah, I remember watching it back.
A race that was. Martin is back, and hopefully, I do hope he can get back in and just finish the race now, because it's such a shame that it is ending this way. And Danny will just be nursing the car home now. Will not think about pushing, because he knows it's there on a plate for him, and he's just got to take it. You do not get opportunities like this to win championships. The man is an SRL-GP2 champion. The man is a ULC Tier 2 champion. He could add ILR Tier 1 to those ranks, and a very illustrious list will begin from here on in.
Yeah, Danny M7, I completely agree. I echo what you've said. There's no doubt about it. He's been a deserving champion. Should he go on to complete the job? I mean, I'm not going to lie. Last weekend when you were out here, James, we were dressing it up for TRL Martin in the closing laps, talking about how he was a deserving champion, and we all know what happened there. So it's not over till it's over. There's every chance Danny M7 could maybe end up with a puncture or something like that. But we all hope that does not happen. That would be a terrible thing to happen for him. But yep, you're absolutely right. Danny M7, the deserving champion. I wasn't blessed with being there for that brilliant Grand Prix back in Spain when he came charging through, and he described that as one of his best ever drives, I believe, on Curious Cat. I remember reading that, and it really was a cracking drive. As I know, watch Dralix have a look up the inside of Langman. That's late on the brakes. They're going to come together, are they? No, they're not. They're going to battle all the way. Oh, brilliant stuff. And Dralix looks to have got the upper hand on Langman. Aggressive driving, but brilliant driving. Now Dralix defends. Oh, he can't defend much more because Langman is on the inside. He's going for the gap. Is he going past him? Back up into that 5th place. Yes, he is. Dralix ain't giving it up though, and Dralix fights back through the chicane, and they still remain side by side. Some great action between those two, and Langman finally puts his stamp on P5 and takes the place. Dralix 6th with Ansmats closing in on the tail in 7th. Good action there.
A really good action. Also, some brilliant results coming out from those guys in P5, 6 and 7. I mean, Ansmats hasn't really seen the luck of points for a lot of this season. Dralix has proved that he can be a good driver at times this season. He's definitely had the solid performance pressed by him. Definitely not someone I thought would come out through the ranks like he has and proven it. And Langman this race, my goodness me, has he been involved in action, because he's just been at it left, right, centre. I imagine he's just sore after this race, because the sheer amount of battles that he's been involved in, it's just been battered around, and he's just still hanging on there in P5. He had that fantastic qualifying session, and it's just not gone all his way. Leopard, on the other hand, is closing in on the full senior of Mike Marshmallow.
Yeah, let's have a look at Leopard. Oh, as we all know, his championship hopes died quite early on in this Grand Prix. I think it was contact with Danny M7 that caused it, and front wing damage for him. And from then on in, his hopes were gone. He allowed TRL Martin, one of his championship rivals, through to try and get to Danny M7. And who knows, we might even end up with some stewards inquiries come the end of this race. Danny and Leopard were racing very, very, very hard earlier on in this Grand Prix. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But if you've just joined us, anyone, or just joined back, wondering what happened to TRL Martin, he did disconnect from P2. He was right behind Danny M7, looking to make a move, but it also has to be remembered that Martin did have a 3-second time penalty to his name. So in truth, in fairness, it was unlikely that he was going to get that away from Danny M7, but anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. He could have put the pressure on Danny, could have made the move. Danny could have then ended up with a 3-second time penalty trying to battle back. You never know, but we are now on the final lap, and Danny M7 at the moment is on course to seal the ILR Xbox title in its first ever season. What a season it's been. I'm going to shed a few tears, I think, James, when this is over. It has been superb, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Start to finish, I don't think I could have done it with a better man either with Andy. Just brilliant. We haven't got to the checkered flag yet either, and but no, in all seriousness, it has been such a phenomenal season. It's made my throat sore at times, and it's definitely made your throat sore at times after you're choking curries and whatever, but my goodness me, it has been one hell of a roller coaster, hasn't it? Just so much action down the field, and you're witnessing now, if you want to give him a applauding ovation, is Danny M7, and he is on his way to win, but Leopard's on the inside of Mike on the other hand. I want to give all credit to Danny. I know there's a battle going on behind, but honestly, if you've got a champion like this and how hard he's had to work and how much dedication this man has put in, it's absolutely phenomenal what he's getting out of it. The man, I looked him in the eyes on Saturday last week when I met him, and I just said, look, just go for it. Don't leave anything on the track. Just go for it. And I can't believe it. We're now in the scenario with just corners to go of this season, and he's rounding off the penultimate corners. I cannot believe this. Here we go. Last corner then for Danny M7. He's weaving out of the final corner because he is the first ever ILR champion. He's done it in style in Abu Dhabi, and it's fantastic. Absolutely stunning. He's won the championship. Brilliant.
Yep, fireworks on the racetrack all season long. Fireworks for the finale here in Abu Dhabi. They go off all around the circuit, and it's celebrations for Danny M7. He is the first ever champion here on ILR Xbox. Not only that, he's a double champion. He's won the constructors as well with Force India and his teammate Mike Marshmallow, and he's won the drivers as well. What a magnificent evening's work for him. He will be absolutely delighted. Force India are overjoyed. It's Danny M7 who has won this title. There were 5 earlier on in the season, then there became 4, then 3 going into this final race. But it was Danny M7 who came out on top. Commiserations to TOR Leopard. Commiserations to TRL Martin, who had a lot of bad luck this season. But it's Danny M7 who has won the championship, and we can take absolutely nothing away from him. Superb job. And we now await the drivers as they join us for the post-race interviews. I think that we could be quite heated interviews after that one. Some emotional ones pretty soon as well. We'll hear from them in a few moments. But it's now time for the podium. There they are on the podium. Danny M7, and as James mentioned earlier on in the stream, he hasn't led this championship at any point until now. And that repeats the feat of Sebastian Vettel in the 2010 season, leading the championship at the final race, and the only time he led it when he won it then. So Danny M7 celebrates on the podium with the rose water, no champagne in Abu Dhabi. A fantastic result for him. He wins this Grand Prix in style. He wins the championship as well. There is your final race results from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's Danny M7 winning for Force India. From OMG, it's Joe in second. TOR Leopard brought it home in third, with Mike Marshmallow in fourth. Dralix was fifth, the Canadian. ARL Antsmatch was sixth. Langman brought it home seventh. TR Morso was eighth. TSR Bastic was ninth. And Hayden was 10th for Sauber. TRL Martin, a day where it could have been a lot better for him. So much happened. It was up and down all race long. It looked like he was out of it early doors. Then he was back in it. And then another infamous disconnection cost him all his hopes. And he ended up 11th with no points. But as I hear a ripple of applause, we now need to go to Danny M7, who has wrapped up the championship here tonight with a victory. Danny, you must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, very. I don't know what to say, because there were moments in that race where, I thought I wasn't going to keep it. From where I was sat in the car, it felt fair. All I was doing was covering the inside line, and a few times I did outbrake myself and go wide, but sometimes you can't help that. And so from where I was sat, I felt as though what I did was right. I'll have to look back, and then I knew after the restart, I thought, right, I'm gonna have to get Leopard off the start here, because his pace just seemed electric. So I thought the start was crucial, and I made it happen at the start. And then from then on, it was just, of course, Langman did me a bit of a favour at the start, but I think from then on, when Leopard caught back up, I was just doing my best to hold as long as I can. I know Martin was catching, but I knew Leopard's tyres would surely go off more at the end than my tyres would, so I was just trying to hold him as much as I can. And I don't know what happened to Leopard, if anyone can tell me what happened to him, because all that happened was that I defended the inside line, he went wide, and then I just see him drop back. There was no touch on my screen, nothing like that, just what happened.
Okay, well that's interesting, because on our screens anyway, and probably for many people in the stream, or certainly in the chat, believe that you may have been in the wrong on that defensive manoeuvre down that second long straight, where we believe Leopard may have sustained the front wing damage there. They believe that's why he dropped back. I don't know, I mean, I'm not a steward, but I think people would maybe feel that you defended a little bit too hard. But again, Danny, I mean, it's hard to say, because we know that happens so many times in the game. What you're seeing and what other drivers are seeing is different, and that would maybe be the case here. Is that maybe fair to say?
Yeah, because there was certainly no contact. As far as I can remember, I'll look back, but as far as I can remember, there was, Mike and Joe were in the pie with me, and I never once said, "Oh, we've touched" or anything like that, because I would have acknowledged it. So I'd never felt anything, never seen anything. So I'll have to look back, and if there was contact, sorry to him, because generally that wasn't my intention. It was just to race hard, and yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations anyway on that victory. I also want to ask you, I think you're a double champion, you won the Constructors last week. We never mentioned it last week when you sealed that Constructors due to all the drama that was going on in the race. Of course, TRL Martin, we all know what happened to him. But a quick word on the Constructors, yourself and Mike, a good team, a good result, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think from how far Mike's come from Australia, obviously not league racing at the start of this game, I think to win the Constructors by the end of it was a massive achievement, and he's really picked up his pace since Australia, so it's been a good partnership.
Okay.
Yeah, man, like
Okay.
all the tips and setups and everything you've given me have really helped me come forward and improve. I didn't league race since SRL season 3, so it was a good year out of it, and I've come back, and every race I've seen myself get further and further up the grid, and especially in qualifying I've seen a massive improvement. But yeah, it was all down to Danny really, keeping me motivated and giving me tips, so thank you, man, I really appreciate it, and in my eyes you are the deserving champion this season.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I've got to ask you actually, Mike, while you're with us, another question as well. You said, of course, that you've not been racing for quite a while, and it's good to have you back. I mean, why initially did you make that decision to come back into league racing? What was that all about? Why did you go for it?
Well, me, Gulch, Langman, Joe, we'd all been playing Fortnite, and I got quite close to Gulch, and he was saying about ILR and Emerge and everything, and when I heard that Danny was joining, I said, yeah, okay, I'll sign up. Me and Danny's teammates, we're really good friends anyway, outside of league racing, so it's always a pleasure to race with him, and in the practicing it's always fun because there's a lot of banter, and yeah, it's just enjoyable racing with them a lot. So yeah, I suppose I could say Gulch was the one that got me back into it really.
Okay, and another thing I've got to ask you, I mean, you say you're trying to improve your qualifying, but in the races you've been superb, haven't you? You've even when you've qualified poorly, you seem to just work your way back up through the field, and it's just been great to watch. So I mean, is there any race that stands out for you in particular that you've really enjoyed battling through the field? Any standout performance from yourself?
Oh, I think I'll have to look back at the standings actually. Have you got any idea of which ones? I think Belgium was a good one. Yeah, because wet and dry. In Japan was a good one for me as well. Yeah, I mean, I've always been good at coming from far down the grid, because even in the SRL days I'd qualify 5th or 6th and end up, getting the podium or winning races. So I know qualifying's always been a low point for me, but I've always been able to bounce back in the race, and whenever there's points up for grabs, I'm always good at getting them points. So yeah, and that's something I've transpired into ILR this season.
Yep, and it has been the key, of course, to that Constructors' glory. So well done to you, and well done to Danny on the Constructors' Championship. And I think it's time we move on to the man that finished in second in this Grand Prix, out of the championship fight, but still an enjoyable result, an enjoyable race. P2, Joel.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable race. It was interesting at times, especially in the party with Danny. His nerves were getting to him from the sounds he was making. And I think we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it was a good race from me. I had a black screen at the start, dropping me down to like P9, and I just made my way back up at the first couple of laps, back into P5. And yeah, it was just about managing my tyres and everything. I got the undercut on, it was Mike and Langman, and yeah, that got me clear of them and that little group of cars. But I just didn't have the pace for like Danny, Martin or Leopard, which is probably why they're the ones in the championship fight, because they're the quickest guys here.
Well, I've got to hand it to you, Joe. You certainly hung in there for a lot of the season. You were battling hard. I mean, I was actually slightly surprised that you were fighting so hard up at the front of this championship for so long, and at the end of the day, I mean, you missed 3 races, didn't you? Or was it more than that? 3, maybe even 4? You certainly missed 2 earlier on, and then
I think it was 3. It was 3, I think.
Yeah, so you yourself could have been right back in the championship. I know others have missed races as well, but you've fought hard in this championship, and arguably, if you hadn't joined me in the commentary box last week, you could still be in the fight going into today, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could have been. I don't know. I probably should have been racing, but I couldn't. There was just no chance of me. No chance of it happening, unfortunately.
Well, Joe, but there's always next season, I suppose, and there may be a chance for you to try and fight for the championship then. I suppose I'm sure I mentioned this to you earlier in the season. It might come back to bite you missing out on those 2 races, and I think it's fair to say that it is the case. And well, you've got to hold your head high. It was a great performance all season long, and another strong result. But unfortunately, I don't think TOR Leopard is with us in the party, is he? He was here earlier on.
Martin, yeah. I've invited him back, but nothing seems to.
He's since decided to leave since he was here, and well, last time Leopard was in the bad mood in the party, he was giving me the chills with his responses, so he's not here tonight either, so it's almost a good thing not having to interview Leopard, because he's quite intimidating for someone so young when he's being interviewed, it has to be said. But no Leopard, and unfortunately no Martin as well, because I'd love to have heard from Martin. It's been an emotional rollercoaster for him all season as well, of course. 2 punctures late in races. He could have clinched the championship last week as well. An emotional ride. And in fact, Danny, I mean, I should really be wrapping this up now, but I want to ask you about this as well. I mean, Danny, that late puncture, that late issue for Martin in the Grand Prix, did that put a slight dampener on your championship victory? Would you have liked to have battled all the way to the line?
Yes, it did. Like, across the line, and I would have been more ecstatic if the problems that occurred for both my championship rivals didn't happen. And it probably just sounds like I'm just saying it because I've won the championship, but genuinely, like, I wanted a fair fight, and I invited Martin back, but unfortunately the AI drive so that he just dropped right back. And even in qualifying, when he lagged out, I think the first time, I invited him straight back because I wanted a fair fight. And yeah, it does a bit, but yeah, these things happen. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's a shame,
right.
Of course, that it panned out with that. James, I've got to ask you any questions, any tip for the driver?
I had a question, and I also got a lot of things to say afterwards, if you don't mind. It's not a lot, it's just a lot of plugs. But Danny, congratulations to you, man. I'm actually really happy for you. You probably understood that. I'm no biased, but I know what you're like now, and it's just brilliant to see. So congratulations, thoroughly deserved. But I have to ask.
Thanks, man.
The first two races we did. I mean, you don't want to gloss over that, but what were you feeling like then? Because your heart must have sunk. It must have just dropped because of just how much crap went on in the first couple of races.
Yeah, I think Mike can vouch for that. I was just the first one when I got the screw freeze off the line. I'm pretty sure I got a better launch than that, but. And then I just made my way back through. I was just going to keep at it, and then I got another screen freeze, then we restarted. And then the second race, I was screen freezing into the setup screen, so I knew that was going to go to shit, crap, sorry. go bad, but then I'm just trying to keep it PG. And then yeah, the last race, obviously there was no issues, but I wish me and Martin could have fought to the end, because it would have been interesting to see, because V just found another gear from about lap 20, because I was keeping it about 1.3, 1.4, and then suddenly he was right there. I made that mistake in the final sector, and yeah, it would have been nice to battle with him, because I've barely done it this season, whether he's had bad luck or I've had bad luck. Yeah, but anyway, I'm happy still.
So congratulations. We've actually got Martin in the party now. I mean, if you don't mind, Andy, I'll give him a question. I'll get the plugs out of the way, and then I'll let you have it. Martin, if you're there.
Hello.
Hopefully. Hello. Commiserations, and I don't really want to like that because you, my friend, done yourself bloody justice today, because that performance was phenomenal. It really was phenomenal. It's just gutting the way it's ultimately finished out in the end. But I mean, can you hold your head up high? You're going to be disappointed, of course you are. But after this season, it's been so topsy-turvy, and it just couldn't finish the way you wanted it to. So overall, are you really happy with this season? And I mean, what have you got to say for our champion?
Well, obviously, yeah, shout out to Danny. It's not the most ideal way to end the season for me personally, and everyone in general, with all the lag and shit, but yeah, it's obviously naturally very painful to lose out in that manner. I don't mind losing, especially, you know, when I race an AOR every fucking week, but to lose in that manner, it's a dagger to the heart.
This PG target, yeah. Carry on.
But yeah, I think Brazil was the hammer blow, you know, did everything right, and to get a puncture on 78%, whilst Leopard just waltzes away on 90%, brings it home. It's just, at that point, I was just like, ugh. But yeah, last race, just do or die, just gunned it, really. I'd actually had a 3-second time penalty, so I'm not sure what Danny had, but nevertheless, regardless of the result, I just wanted to have a battle, you know, just for the stream and for the league. It's been a great season, but it's what it is. Just gotta move on, I guess. Nothing to...
You're gonna be here next season?
I don't know.
Andy, I'll let you get on with the question, and then I'll get on with the plug. So if you've got a question, do it now, because these plugs, I'm getting inundated by God.
Oh, well, Martin, I do feel for you. It's been a great season. It's been great to have you battling with in the action in the championship hunt all season long. And I feel if there's anyone that's going to feel the pain more than anyone else of not winning the championship, it's going to be you. And that's because, of course, as you say, the hammer blow in Brazil, you were just a few miles, really, a few minutes from wrapping it up. We saw that Leopard had over 90% or something like that with his tyres close to a puncture. Yourself were only, what, 78 or something like that. So I'm pleased that you decided to join us in the final week after that heart-wrenching hammer blow you received last week, and it's just a shame that it wasn't to be today. And again, you had to battle back from 12th place, and you must have thought at one moment you had a chance of winning that championship.
Yeah, I mean, as I caught Danny saying that suddenly the pace just came alive on the last like 7 laps, but again I had the penalty, and I found it pretty hard to follow you in sector 3. You know, especially through the chicanes when they'll set you like parking on the apex, getting good exit. So I would have to do something stupid to, you know, something high risk like Brazil to get past you. But yeah, I don't mind losing, but it's just the manner that it occurred. It's not ideal of it.
And
yeah, I don't want to devalue what Danny's achieved this season. I mean, he's driven brilliantly all year. He's had bad luck as well, so you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's, you know, my name shooting on the trophy. It's not how it is, you know.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Very, very humble response from Martin there, and I have to say, Martin, this as well. I mean, you mentioned that move last week on Danny. I've got to ask you about that one. We never get the chance last week. Obviously, the fury of it all and the way it all worked out in the end. But last week, what a move that was. I mean, I think Danny said at the time on Twitter. At the time, he didn't feel it was a good move, but he's watched it back and said fair play. But that is one of the best moves I've ever seen. What a move that was! Talk us through that one. It was crazy.
Oh, I winced. I thought I gave Danny damage because it was quite a bit of contact. He left just the cars with. The problem was, again, there was slipstream glitch. So again, races getting dictated by bullshit, really. You know, that's the same for everyone, but started to do a high risk manoeuvre, and thankfully, Danny saw me coming. You know, I just managed to get it slowed down, but yeah, that's just why it's so frustrating. You're pulling up a move like that, and then to get the puncture, it's not ideal. But you know, fair. I can trust Danny in those situations. There's not many people I would have, you know, wouldn't have standing up the inside and against some other random kid. You know, Danny gave me space, and yeah, it was a great move. But you know, the puncture obviously overshadows that quite substantially.
Yeah. What it is. Well, it was brilliant action, and we hope to see you, and I hope to see everyone again next season to give us some more brilliant action like that. And I'm going to hand you over now to James, who has got some things to say. James.
Here we go, ladies and gents. The moment you've all been waiting for, the inaugural plugs. No, anyway. No, all I've got to say to you guys is thank you very much, everybody, for getting across the leagues. And this is a message, I guess, on behalf of Gorse. Thank you for everybody for taking part in ILR this season. It's definitely not the response we expected, but we managed to get there. So again, thank you very much. Also, sign-ups will occur, we believe, on August 26th. Stay tuned for that. With any luck, we'll get the sign-out open. This is dates I've been told. Could be wrong, of course. Why would you want to sign up to this league? Well, seeing this action, seeing this championship, think you're interested? You're going to be good on F1 2018? You've got to believe so, guys. Get involved and see what you can get out of it as well. Assist leagues are available. Also, what should we... I just want to see more of us on the grid for next season. More plugs that are coming your way as well. I mean, we've just got to give a quick shout out to all the stewards as well and the coordinators, and if you want to give a shout out, I'll give a shout out to Andy as well, because without him these streams wouldn't be possible. And Nuthead, of course, during the course of the season, both doing their part. I've just been a back sitter watching on and giving my drony old opinions.
No. You deserve credit too. Come on.
I'm not going to give credit to myself. Let's clear it up. We've had a fantastic championship now, and also more plugs to come. Check the ILR account for more details on how you can get involved. The website is under maintenance at the moment, so you've got to check out their Twitter. And all news updates and everything like that will come in due course. So there are my plugs out of the way. If you just keep in touch with ILR on Twitter, and you'll know exactly what's going on for the following game.
Yep,
Thank
absolutely,
you.
James.
I'd just like to add.
Yep, absolutely, James. There's a lot of things happening with ILR in the future. A new website under development, the sign-ups for F1 2018 on their way very soon as well. And as James says, I mean, if you saw the action tonight, if you saw the action all season long, why would you not want to sign up? And I suppose that rounds off another, our first ever ILR season on Xbox. That rounds off ILR entirely on F1 2017. We move on to F1 2018, and as James has rightly pointed out, the sign-ups for Xbox will open on the 26th of August. So that's all from me, that's all from James. It's congratulations to Force India, Danny and Mike, and of course Danny as well. Woo! On the World Championship. So it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from James.
Ragazzi.
You know what?
Get in there.
Yeah, okay, throw anything in, go on, throw anything in. Anything else to say, lads? Go on, finish it off.
Hashtag bless.
Hashtag play.
Crab, sorry you couldn't be here this week and last week. You've done well to make ILR what it is today, and thank you the drivers for making it fucking awesome. That's all I gotta say.
Mike, I've got a nice polite way of putting it across to you. Round it off, Andy, come on, hurry up.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to round it off. It's been so good. The season's been that good. I don't want to round it off. But yeah, sorry. It's time to round off, folks. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from James. It's goodbye from everyone. We'll see you next. Pardon me. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, pardon me. We'll see you all next season for season 2 on ILR and Xbox. If we don't see you, have a nice Christmas and New Year.